So round one of the Rugby Championship has come to a close, and after a dominant performance from the Springboks, they now head to New Zealand for their upcoming fixture up against the All Blacks. And in this video, we will be trying to predict the starting lineup and reserves for the Springboks for their upcoming match up against the ABs. But with me today, it is Rugbyitch. First of all, mate, Springboks, 31-point margin over the Australians. We didn't predict it, but saying that, we also didn't really predict the squad right that they would use. So you're more confident this week, do you think?
I should be.
That's a noise of a confident man right there,
Yeah,
Tim.
I should be, but it's one of those where I think because this is most likely to be their best side they put out within this Rugby Championship, I expect us to get more of the prediction, I guess, right. It can be tricky though because again, a lot of the players again have come to New Zealand early to kind of get used to the conditions. So you suspect that a lot of those players may be starting in this game. So it could be a bit easier. I think we should do much better, you could say, than the first prediction we made.
It's not too difficult to do, is it?
No, it really is.
We only had like 4 correct between us. But first of all, the front row. We did see when they were playing in South Africa, they went with a very strong front row of Stephen Kitsoff, Bongium Benambi, and Frans Malherbe. For this game up against the All Blacks, who have you gone with?
Yes, I've actually gone with the same two in terms of the props. I've actually gone with the likes of Stephen Kitsoff as well as Frans Malherbe. But I've actually switched it up in terms of the hooker here because I think when you have someone like Malcolm Marx, you got to kind of utilize him earlier on, and they have been doing this recently. I've noticed because normally Malcolm Marx is he was used in the past as a player come off the bench to be more of an impact player. But recently, throughout the Autumn Nations and even the Rugby Championship last year, they actually used him a lot in terms of starting. So I actually think Malcolm Marx could get the starting job here. So I'm going to go with Malcolm Marx there.
So I am in a very similar boat to you. In fact, the same boat. I've got Stephen Kitsoff number 1. Felt he was phenomenal in the scrum up against the Wallabies, putting Alan Alatoa under all sorts of pressure. And I think he'll be able to do the same up against whether or not it's Lomax for the ABs. Maybe they look at Nepo Lulala or Ofa Tuangafasi, one of those guys. But either way, I think Kitsoff, the way that he scrummages and the way that he just puts the body on the line in the breakdown, expect some good stuff from him in the near future. Malcolm Marx, I have given the opportunity to him at number 2. My reasoning was in the game between the All Blacks and Argentina, the All Blacks started a lot better than they finished. So I believe that if you've got the All Blacks starting well, you need to also have a good starting hooker. And Bongium Benambi in the game up against Australia, I think was probably one of the more quiet players that we did see out there on the field. So instead, Malcolm Marx, I feel, could have a real impact. That line-out accuracy is going to be crucial in this game. I think he should be able to get the job done. Frans Malherbe, he had a big performance in the last game, having quite a few battles with James Slipper. I think they've got to start him again, though, just because with that front row combination, you don't really want any weak links, which there wouldn't really be if anyone was replacing Malherbe, but just with that size and physicality, I think he is a very strong option. Now the locking duo. Last game, we did see 2 completely different names from what I have got on this side. And that is because I've got Eben Etzebeth returning at number 4. The rumours are saying he could be the captain for this game up against the All Blacks. I'm hoping his injury is progressing well and he is right on the verge of returning. I feel like this game, he will certainly want to be out there on the field for the Boks. And then at number 5, I have gone with Lutiaga. He didn't get the opportunity last week. I feel like he's a good option for this game up against the ABs.
Good call. Yeah, no, I've actually gone with, I've gone with Eben Smith, like you. I do believe you could get the opportunity in this game, especially against the All Blacks. You need essentially your best lock, and he's one of the best in the world, guys. So, yeah, I think Eben Smith, hopefully he does return in this game. So, hopefully, just help the Boks out, really. But, his partner in crime in terms of the locks, I've actually gone with Franco Mostert here, actually. It was a tough call because I actually could have gone with the likes of Lord Diego if I wanted to, but I decided, I don't know. I want to see a bit of Franco Mostert, and again, I could have gone with him if I'm at my number 6 if I wanted to, but I've actually gone with someone else there who I think deserves it. But that's my 2 in terms of the locks.
Alrighty, so now we move on to that loose forward trio that you were just mentioning. Who is this number 6 who you feel is going to step up in this game?
So this was a tough call because, like I said, I could have gone with Franco Mostert if I wanted to, but I actually decided to go with Marco van Staden just because I think he had a really good performance actually against the Wallabies, and I think they actually they saw that. They saw what I saw, and they'll bring it into the All Black game, and just give him an opportunity at 6 once more. But again, with that, I actually have come with the likes of Peter Step the Toy at number 7, and then I have gone with the likes of Jasper Visa at number 8. It was a tough call because I actually originally wanted to go with Dwayne Vermeulen here, but I was like, oh, I just don't know if I can do it. So I went with Jasper Visa just because I think he's a young gun, and I think they may go with him. So yeah, that's my my loose forward trio there.
So I'm a little bit different now. I might be very wrong here,
Okay.
but I know that they were talking about having those split squads in terms of giving everyone that opportunity. So I've got 3 men who didn't play in the last match up against the Wallabies.
Whoa, okay.
As my loose forward trio.
Okay.
Number 6, I have got Jean-Luc Deprez. It's a big opportunity for him if they put him in the starting side. I was trying to work out whether or not they'd rather have him in the starting lineup or off the bench, because I believe he will get some game time in this contest, which probably means now that I've said that he won't. But I've gone with him as my number 6. Quagga Smith, I've given the opportunity to at number 7, even though he does normally come off the bench in games for the Springboks. I decided I'd start him for this one, and Jasper Visa as the number 8. He was a little bit later travelling to New Zealand due to the birth of his child, but he is there now, and I think he's going to be a very viable option for the Springboks as that number 8, alongside, of course, Dwayne Vermeulen, who did do very well in the game up against the Wallabies. Now, the 9 and the 10. For me, I have gone with Faf de Klerk as my starting number 9, with the fact that he didn't play last week and the fact he flew to New Zealand early. I want to say I'm about 99% sure they will have him starting number 9 for this game. And number 10, I've actually gone Damian Valimza. I noticed that they didn't play him in the last game up against the Wallabies. Now, you'll be surprised because I did say earlier on that I thought maybe Marnie Libok would get the opportunity to start at 10 and maybe Damian Valimza as 15. I don't know why I changed my mind here. I think it's because, I don't really know, to be honest. I think I've decided that Billy LaRue, I think with that experience, they might put him as the fullback for this contest. So I did go Damian Valimza number 10 alongside Faf de Klerk as the number 9.
Fair enough. I mean, I actually have gone the same combination as you, by the way. I did actually go with Faf de Klerk at number 9, and I have gone with David Williams at number 10. I just think it's kind of what I said beforehand, where I think they're going to give him the opportunity at 10. And again, we didn't see a lot of him actually in that Wallabies game because, Libok was playing mostly at 10. So I think they'll probably give it to him in this game. I'm excited to see what he can do, of course, because, I'm trying to think, did he play against... I don't think he's played against the All Blacks in a while. I think it was part of that game last year, right? Again, this is where my knowledge is a bit... Was it in Durban, I think it was? I think it was in Durban where they won that game, but... He was pretty good, actually, to our account, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go Williamson. I think Williamson can just do the job there at 10, so I'm going to go with him there.
Alrighty, now we move on to the centres. Last week, we did get to see Andre Esterhuizen. I felt he stepped up at number 12. He played a very good game of rugby. Number 13, they did have Lukhanyo Am. This week, have you gone with either of those two in your midfield combination?
I have. This is a big call, actually, because this is really tricky because, in my opinion, actually, I think Andre Esterhuizen actually had a better game compared to Lukhanyo Am actually going against the Wallabies. I just think he was more impactful and had more minutes on the ball, really. So, but the sad truth is that I actually didn't go with him. I actually went with Lukhanyo Am because I think they're going to go back towards the, I guess you could say, the original duo, at least, and I've gone with Damien Delende as well as Lukhanyo Am. So it was a really tough goal, guys. But I don't know. I think it's just more of a judgment call, which I've seen more of them play together than what I've seen with Andre Esterhuizen. But hey, he can keep going. I mean, I'd love to see him back in that, maybe the game against Argentina. You never know. We'll see what happens then.
Alrighty, so I've got the same at number 12 with Damien Delende. But a player who you haven't mentioned is who I've got as my number 13.
Yep.
And that is Jesse Kriel.
Like it.
Even though some people still aren't completely sold on him, I feel like the plan for the coaches originally was going to be have 2 guys play in South Africa, have 2 different guys play in New Zealand. And even though, like you said, even though Andre Esterhuizen did have a solid game, and even though Lukhanyo Am, he is a very good option as the number 13, I feel like they might still give Jesse Kriel the crack at number 13. Now the back 3. There are a lot of question marks here because we did see Kurt Leorinsa get himself a hat-trick in the last game. We did see Kenan Moody hardly touch the ball. So I feel like he is the one that was the easier one to switch out of these 2. But for me, I've got Makazole Mapimpi out on the left wing, Cheslin Colby out on the right, and Billy LaRue starting at fullback. And Cheslin Colby, the good option with him is the fact that he can be backup kicker for Damian Valimza just in case anything does slightly go wrong. Whether or not they go with him or Faf de Klerk, though,
I was going to say, you have Faf as well if we wanted to. Yeah.
Is a bit of a wait and see. But how many of those names ring a bell on your sheet?
Well, they ring 3 times, so all 3 of those players. So, yeah, I mean, I have to go with him. He's kind of the obvious 11. Again, I could have gone with Kirby Lorenza because I think that's really the decision there because I think Justin Kobe was going to start no matter what. So I think Kobe has to be the 14 because you want to get more minutes from him. And then, yeah, you're going to go with Willie LaRue because I think he was just outstanding against the Wallabies. And I think he's just slot straight back into that 15 slot. Yeah, that's what I've gone with the back 3 as well.
Awesome. So we are pretty much in agreement other than, I think it was the loose forward trio, wasn't it? Our 6, our 7, and also our 5, the only 3 differences that we have got from our whole 15, which means that we could either be very right or very wrong, like we normally are. Although we normally fall into that wrong category rather than the right. Now the reserves. This is where the big question marks start to come in. Who are the players from last week's game that are going to get the opportunity this week again? And how many of those other names that already travelled to New Zealand will get themselves the crack? 16, 17, and 18. Who are your front row replacements?
Yeah, so I've had to make some big calls already. I mean, most of you. I had to obviously put Bongi Manami as my backup hooker because I could have gone with someone like Joseph Dweba, but I believe he's actually not traveling, if I'm not mistaken, to New Zealand. So I think that was a pretty easy decision overall to do. In terms of the backup props, though, however, I actually have given. I think it is going to be a debut for him actually with Gerhard Stinkab because I think he's come from. It's the Bulls, right? Am I over? Yeah, just making sure. I was thinking Stormers, but I was like, no. I know he's from the Bulls, but yeah. So I think he'll kind of slot in there, obviously with Oxen Che obviously out. He'll be kind of the replacement there for Stephen Kitsoff. And then for the other prop, I've actually gone with the likes of Vincent Koch because I just thought, overall when he came on. Made an impact, so I think he can do the job once more.
Number 16 for me, I have also got Bongi on Manambi. He seemed like the only real option they could have, unless, of course, they were going to try out Dion Fori again as a replacement hooker.
That's true.
With the season that he's had in the URC, I don't see them doing that. I feel he is much more suited now to that loose forward trio. Number 17, I have not gone with Gerhard Stennekamp. Instead, I have gone with Trevor Nakanye.
Interesting. That's a good call. I like that.
Mainly because it does seem to be that he can play both sides of the scrum, which is brilliant for the Springboks. But I think that he might be a really good option for them loose head prop-wise as the backup for Stephen Kitsoff in the future. Number 18, though, I have stuck with the same as yourself. And I have got Vincent Koch there as my final front row replacement. Now, last week I tried to go with the 5-3 split in my prediction.
I don't know why.
I was wrong. This week... Have you gone with the 6-2 again?
Yes, because it's the box. It's a 6-2.
Well, I have 2. There was half a moment where I had an extra back in there, and then I was like, no, gotta go back.
You learned your lesson.
What works? I learnt my lesson. But now, 3 replacements in the fullback I have got for myself here. Number 19, RG Snyman. Felt he had a good impact off the bench, so I'm giving him another crack in this match up against the ABs. Number 20 is where I've got Franco Mostert. And the reason I've got him there is because it gives you that option of maybe a replacement lock, depending on how theoretically it would be more likely Ludiacha that Franco Mostert would replace, and maybe RG Snyman for Eben Etzebeth. So I've got him as that backup option, as well as maybe that number 6 of Jean-Luc Deprez, if he isn't going
or
too
7,
well.
even if you wanted to. Yeah.
As well for Huacha Smith. But then number 8, he's not going to be touching that jersey because instead Dwayne Vermeulen, my replacement, number 21. Felt he played well in the last game. I'd like to see him get a crack as a finisher in a game rather than a starter, just to see what kind of impact he can have later on in a contest. Definitely if it is a close physical game up against New Zealand. So that's who I've got as my number 21.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like those sessions a lot. I guess I've only chosen one name similar to you in that sense. But to start off, I actually have him with like Lord Diego here as kind of my backup lock. I think he's just someone that I think I want to see kind of play. Again, I was really flipping between him and Franco Mostert at the start, but I went with Mostert at the start, so that's the reason why Lord Diego's off the bench. Second to that, I then have gone with like Cora Smith. I just think he's such a great player overall, and I loved watching him since he's come from the sevens onto the Springboks. So Cora Smith has to be there. And then similar to you, I've gone with the likes of Dwayne Vermeulen. I just thought he has to carry on kind of his momentum, which we saw within that Wallaby game. So hoping that he can do that once more off the bench. But I guess in terms of the last 2 really, because we're both going with a 6-2 split here. I've actually decided to go with Herschel Yankees here as the the scrum half. It's a tough call, guys, because you have a lot of scrum halves you could choose. I think it's probably the most in international rugby because you have like what Flafaker, Kobus, Grant Williams, Herschel Yankees, and there's one more.
Jaden
Henningsen. So there's 5 you can go with, guys. But I decided to go with Herschel Yankees just because I want to see a bit more of him in this one. But yeah, no, the replacements, of course, I had to put him in because I think he deserves it after what he did last game. I've gone with Kurt Lorenza. So that's my 23-man squad there.
So for me, I've also got Herschel Yankees as number 22.
Nice.
But number 23, I do not have Kurt Lorenza. Now, don't get me wrong, he had an absolutely phenomenal game last week.
That's tough.
But my thinking behind it is if the kicking tee is not behaving itself, maybe this man will be able to fix it. And that is Mani Libok as my man to come off the bench as number 23. Because theoretically, I'd like to think that the 2 wingers would be able to put in the full 80-minute performance. And then also alongside that, if Willie the Roo is tired, maybe you look at transferring Damien Willemse to 15, have Mani Libok go on at 10.
I like that.
I think that kicking option could be very handy for them. Plus, he played very well in that last game. Thoroughly impressed me for the first international start. But now, the teams have been put out there from us anyway. The official side, still a little bit in the future. It's going to be a very entertaining game when it does take place. A physical game between the Springboks and the All Blacks. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our podcast. It will be coming out at a very similar time to when this video is released. And that is going to be over on the Rugby Recap. Link in the pinned comment and also in the description as well. But be sure to check out Rugbyitch, who's to my side. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Hopefully we get some right this week.
Hopefully.
We will see you all for the next one.